Showdown is a trading card game built around Texas Hold'em poker. You have your poker hand, but the twist is you've got a second hand of cards called action cards that you use to manipulate the pot, the deck, the board, and the pocket. Showdown turns the game of Texas Hold'em into a battlefield where every aspect of the game can be manipulated, using a combination of strategy and luck to outplay your opponent and get the most chips. What's so great about Showdown is that it taps into the same skills and experiences as poker itself, the mind games, the calculated risk, playing the odds, and transforms it all into a new experience. Showdown is not a worse version of poker. If anything, it's a game for people who love poker. I'll compare it to Balatro. While Balatro took the mechanics of single-player video poker and turned them into an addicting and amazing single-player roguelike, Showdown takes the mechanics of Texas Hold'em and turns them into an incredible PvP experience where you can have the feeling of high-stakes poker without the risk. I've always loved poker, and let's be honest, there's nothing worse than playing regular poker without real money. If you've ever tried it, it just doesn't work. So what gets me excited here is that Showdown is the best example I've seen of getting the feeling of poker without needing to wager real money. Although you could bet on your Showdown games, there's nothing stopping you. By the way, please like and subscribe. Okay, so let's explain how Showdown works. Each player starts the game with a custom deck of no less than 25 and no more than 30 cards. The match progresses as a series of individual poker hands, with the results from each hand adding up until one player gets 100 points. It's important to immediately point out the weirdest thing about Showdown. You have two separate hands. No, not your real hands. I mean your card game hands. You have your poker hand and you have your hand of action cards. The action card hand persists across multiple rounds of poker hands. One hand in Showdown takes about 2 or 3 minutes, assuming that players don't run down the clock. A full match of Showdown takes multiple hands, as few as 3 hands or upwards of 10 hands. It just depends on how the match plays out. In my experience, a full match of Showdown takes about 10 to 12 minutes. Let's go through one hand of Showdown and let's explain everything as it happens, all right? So at the start of a new match, we draw 3 action cards. Then we draw our first poker hand. We're gonna start with the pre-flop phase, but first let me explain. Each hand will have 3 phases: pre-flop, flop, and river. The turn phase of a normal poker hand is combined with the river, so after the flop, the last 2 cards are dealt together. You have action cards that correspond to each phase. They literally say pre-flop, flop, and river. You can also use the 3 diamonds on the middle of the card to quickly see which phase it's for. There's one more type of card, universal, which can be cast during any phase of the hand. So here's a hand in Showdown. You can see we're in the pre-flop phase. My opponent has 54 chips. I have 0. There's 9 chips in the pot, and it is time to make a play. I have 2 cards I can play. They're universal, or I can just pass. Let's go ahead and play lockpick. We're going to make the pot a little smaller. They pay secret stash, and I'm going to check. Once neither one of us wants to play an action card, we go to the flop. We both checked, which means we don't play an action card. We go to the flop. Here's the flop, 998. Not that great for my hand. So this is a flop card. You can see it on the right-hand side. It's got that middle diamond, and it says flop on the bottom, and it's red. Lots of clues. I'm going to play this. I'm going to draw a card. I also gain 1 chip. Then now we got double dealing, which is looking at the bottom 3 cards of the deck, and we can swap some cards out. Let's go ahead and grab that queen, swap it with the jack. Now we have 2 pairs, so you can kind of see I'm using my action cards to influence the board, and then the costs in the top left corner are affecting the size of the pot. Go to the fold option. If I fold, I give up. My opponent gets the chips and the hand is over. We go to the next hand. They would have 65 chips in total at that point. Goal is to get to 100. However, if I go to the river, the pot is going to be doubled. So the pot started at 10. It's gone up and down based on the costs on the top left of these cards, which my camera is covering. I can go over here. So like this subtracted 1, this added 1, this added 3, this subtracted 3. You can kind of see what those did. And now I'm going to go to the river and we're going to double the pot. So now the pot is 22. You can kind of see how that pot size is changing based on our actions. And I could play misdeal, would cycle both pocket cards for both players, but I have a good hand, so I don't want to get rid of my hand. So, and this one's not good either. So I'm just going to check, and then they check back. And we can see that they have 1 pair, I have 2 pair. The hand is broken down. The hand is broken down on the right side here on the Showdown side. And that's it. I win the pot. So these 22 chips go to me when I hit continue. Now I have 23. My opponent still has 54. Goes to the next hand, and then we continue playing. I keep the cards that I had, my action cards from the last hand. I draw 2 new cards. I get a new pocket hand. My opponent has the same situation, and there we go. So you can see there's a few things that persist across hands. I have a card advantage, my action cards, the chips, the size of the deck, but each hand is also, you know, kind of separate from the other ones. So interesting pace to the game there. But yeah, that's how it works. And that's a hand of Showdown TCG. Now, one player has earned some chips, which are added to their score. Chips and points are the same thing in Showdown, by the way. They function more like points since you won't withdraw them to a separate balance. It's not like a literal casino. Instead, whoever gets 100 chips first wins the match. If you enjoy poker, you'll probably love Showdown. I really like it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Flux signing out with the sun in my face.